tools you'll need today is a 8mm wrench for the bleeder valve, a C-clamp for pushing in the piston on your caliper, a wrench that will fit your 14mm socket, a wrench that will fit your 17mm socket, a torque wrench, a breaker bar, and a socket that will fit your lug nut. Then you're gonna need some quality grease. And right here I have the anti-seize lubricant. First you need something to catch your brake fluid. Then you have your rotor. Then you have something to chock your tire. Then you have your jack. And you have your jack stand. And anytime you change your rotor, you should get a new brake pad. You're gonna need some brake cleaner and a scrub brush. Pull up your parking brake. Chock your tire. Before you race your car, you should break loose your wheel nut. I'm gonna lift the car right here. Jack stand go right here. The jack stand go right here. Jack stand in place. I can lower the car now. I'm just gonna quickly take off these wheel nuts. Turn your wheel to the left to make the repair easier. And this bolt I'm taking off right here is 14mm. Keep the bottom bolt on so you can take off the top bolt. This top bolt is 17mm. With the two bolt off, I can now tie with the rope, and I'm gonna hang this on the spring of the shocks. Next, I'm gonna take off the old brake pad. Next, I'm gonna take this bolt off and that bolt off. These two bolts is 17mm. I'm gonna first break loose these two bolts with the breaker bar and finish it with the ratchet. Next, I'm gonna work on taking off the rotor. As you can see, the rotor is stuck and it's not coming off. I no longer needed this old rotor, so I just knocked it loose with a hammer. If you still want to use your old rotor, then you will have to find 2 screws that would thread through that hole right here and right there. And then the 2 screws will push on the back of this hub and the rotor will pop right out. Next, we're going to spray clean this good with the wire brush. Now that it's nice and clean, I'm going to use some anti-seize lubricant so next time the rotor will come off with ease. Next, with the brake cleaner, we're going to spray down this new rotor because there's a layer of oil on it to keep it from rusting. Also, remember to spray clean the other side too. Now we can put in the new rotor. I'm going to use this spare nut just to hold the rotor in place while I put everything back on. With the new brake, you always get these new clips. I put mine on already. It's always a good idea to hand tighten these bolts before you use a ratchet or a wrench. These 2 bolts do need to be torqued now. The torque spec is 74 plus or minus foot-pound. I'm undoing the rope right now so I could put the caliper back on. Remember to grease your bolt. Just remember the bigger bolt on top, smaller bolt on the bottom. Before I put the second bolt in, I'm going to compress the piston down with a C-clamp. I'm going to wipe this clean with some brake cleaners. As you can see, I have my tube connected to the bleeder valve. This bleeder valve is going to stay open while I compress the piston. This way, no dirty brake fluid will be pushed back into the brake reservoir. Okay, the piston can't go back anymore. I'm going to close the bleeder valve. Okay, it's nice and snug. I'm going to undo this. Now I take out the C-clamp once the bleeder valve is closed. Just to be extra sure that everything's clean, I'm going to spread it with brake cleaner again. Before I install the new brake pad, I'm going to put some grease on the side of the brake pad. Now I can put on my new brake pad. Also, remember to put on the back piece. Just remember to put some grease on the pad and some grease on the caliper. Double check to make sure the rubber is aligned correctly before you put on the bottom bolt. The top bolt and the bottom bolt do need to be torqued down. The top bolt is 63 plus or minus 3 foot-pounds. Bottom bolt is 37 plus or minus 3 foot-pounds. The bleeder valve also need to be torqued at 70 plus or minus 8 inch-pounds. I got these bolts torqued down already off camera, so I'm just gonna proceed with the repair. Then I can take off this bolt before I put on my tire. Turn the wheel straight will be easier for you to put the tire back on. I have finished replacing the second rotor off camera already, so I'm moving on with the next step of the video repair. Now I'm going to need to jack up the car so I can take off the jack stand. These wheel nuts does need to be torqued down. The torque spec is 73 plus or minus 7 foot-pounds. And they also need to be torqued in a crisscross pattern. Earlier when I was working on the brake caliper, I had opened the bleeder valve and some brake fluid was released. Now I would need to pump some fluid back into the caliper by pressing down on the brake pedal multiple times. Once the brake pedal starts to feel firm, you're good to go. Next, I'm opening the hood so I can top off the brake reservoir. This right here is a brake reservoir, and you're gonna top it off to right there. Remember to use your funnel so you don't get brake fluid all over the place. As you can see, it does not take much to fill up to the line. Don't forget to put your cap back on. And the last thing you need to do is take your car out for a drive. Click the like button if you found this video useful, and subscribe for future update. And again, thanks for watching.